Uh-oh.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Cervantes, editor-in-chief of Daily Girth. Welcome to our newest Girthcast. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about the NBA season, which is just about to start, or depending on when you listen to it, it could have started already. Joining me today for this discussion, we have Death Dealer,
What's up?
and we have the Rolamites.
I'm here.
I wasn't even expecting that, man. I completely forgot for a second.
Forgot that we were doing this Girthcast. That's okay. I mean, we just have to voice our opinions on what's going to happen for this year's season. And first off, what do you guys think? What team or teams can you see winning the championship this season?
Lakers
for sure.
all the way. That's my opinion.
That's my team.
Yeah.
The Lakers are definitely a trendy pick for this.
Really? Trendy? Really?
Trendy, but deserved as well. No, they're not deserved yet. They have the talent for such a thing. That's for sure.
Man, with
I
Dwight
would say
Howard,
this is
they're
the beginning.
unstoppable.
It's just the beginning. You guys haven't seen nothing yet.
It's pretty interesting. I would definitely say the addition of Dwight Howard is going to make the Lakers that much better.
Yeah.
And truth be told, I would say Dwight Howard is one of the three best players in the NBA. One of which, one of Dwight's teammates, Kobe Bryant, is not one of those players anymore. He's not one of the best players in the league
Roland
anymore.
told me about that, and I was like, oh, man, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that I'd say that there's three teams that can win this: the Lakers, the Heat, and the
OKC.
Thunder. Yeah, and it's
OKC.
it's no coincidence that the other two best players in the league,
Kevin Durant, he's pretty good.
LeBron James and Kevin Durant, play for those two other contenders. It's no coincidence. But can Kobe Bryant get that sixth ring?
Yeah, I can. With the help he has now, he's never had anyone like these guys, and now that he does, I believe he has a chance to, if he wants to. And this is just my opinion. I think he can get 3.
3.
That is my honest opinion, and I'm not going to change that.
He's only under contract for 2 more.
I know.
He doesn't even know if he's coming back for that.
I know
third
he's
one.
been saying that, but if I would say, maybe if he really wants to, and, he really tried.
Well, Kobe Bryant has had talent like this, if not better, before in 2004 when Karl Malone and Gary Payton joined the team. That team reminds me of this team, to tell you the truth. A lot of good players, starting lineup and a couple of bench guys, and then
I don't know, man.
The commercial.
I'm not gonna.
We're watching a commercial right now on the
Pulled
Lakers channel about this pulled pork sandwich.
Oh, that pulled
We
pork
talked about this
sandwich.
in a previous
That guy's like having
Girthcast.
sex
So
with that
nasty.
sandwich, man.
That
He's like-
nasty ass pulled pork
He's like
sandwich.
eating that sandwich out so hard, like you don't even know. It's all hardcore.
People in Los Angeles aren't subject to this that much because many of them don't even have this Time Warner channel.
So now you're making it seem like we're all rich.
So no, it's not a rich just matter if you have Time Warner or not. The Lakers, one of the favorites to win the title, they're not. The majority of their games so far in the preseason haven't even been seen by most of Los Angeles.
Oh, but they're great games.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. So, Kobe Bryant, you talked about his teammates. Back in 2004, 2003, 2004 season, he had Shaq, definitely the best player that Kobe Bryant's ever teamed with.
I just give it to his size. That's why.
Well, he had Shaq. There was
Say
Karl
he would have
Malone.
not been that tall.
Karl Malone, the second best scorer in NBA history, who wasn't even the focal point on that team. He was a very great defensive player. And then Gary Payton, one of the multiple-time defensive player of the year. So,
Yeah, well, see, that's something that I didn't get to see. So that's why it's like
It was quite some.
In
It was
my
a
opinion,
while
this
ago.
is like a new thing for me, and it's like pretty. I think I'm being treated to something that a lot of people always get to see.
This team, this new Lakers team, definitely has they have the talent to do such a thing. You got Steve Nash. He's a defensive liability, yes, but
I don't know. Every time I just remember every time we played the Suns, the guy I was always worried about was Steve Nash because I respected him because he had always put up his points and he would do a lot for his team.
yeah, the thing about Steve Nash, he would always play on these shitty Phoenix Suns
Yeah, he
teams.
was like the guy. It was just like him alone. Same
Yeah.
thing with Dwight. He was all alone, you know. They were
Yeah.
carrying their teams.
Now it's funny you bring up Dwight Howard because Dwight Howard played on the Magic, and
His whole
they were not
career.
very good players that
Yeah,
were
but
around
because
him.
of his defense.
Yeah.
But in the end, you can't win a championship with defense alone.
Well, you can. A lot of teams
But
have.
he didn't.
He did it. No, Dwight Howard is not. But he did take a team to the finals.
Mhm.
Surprisingly, they did lose to the Lakers in 2009.
Yeah,
The championship
he hit
round.
There, but,
Yeah, too bad for him.
Yeah,
but
Now we
now,
won.
yeah. The funny thing about the Magic, anytime any team would play the Magic, you think, oh shit, we got, oh fuck, we gotta account for Dwight Howard.
yeah,
but
that
then
was always the thing. Dwight
he was
Howard.
such an overwhelming presence for them that even though the rest of the team wasn't really any good, you still had to account for that team. Like, oh man, can we beat this team?
Yep.
I agree with that.
So
The
now that he's on a
Lakers-
team with some talent, what's that? How's that going to shape up to be?
I'm sorry, what?
Very good.
I'm coloring this thing. I'm getting all into.
It's Dwight Howard. Now he's got some serious ball players around him.
Shit, man. Just you could tell that his first preseason game, how good he was, dude. What did he log? 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks?
blocks,
I just
something
think to
like
keep the number one defensive for 3 years or 4 years, I'm not sure. But
I think it was 3
That
straight.
sucks.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
got cheated
To
out
keep-
of
to
it.
keep that,
Did
you
you
know?
hear about that? Tyson Chandler got the defensive
Yeah, I
player
do
of the
remember that,
year.
yeah.
Dwight felt that he was robbed, man. I'm all Dwight Howard fan
Dwight Howard,
because he's
fuck
LA,
yeah,
man. You
And
gotta
him
take care
too,
of
even
him.
though he was always on the Magic, I just always like, that would be so awesome if we had Dwight Howard. If he was our guy, because he would bring our defense on. And every time I talk about it, nobody would think, even when it was happening, the trades and everything, and they were talking about it, like, even you were telling me, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. And then it ended up happening, you called like, oh, well, it happened, because it happened.
It was unlikely that the Lakers were able to.
But I just like that.
get
I
Howard,
knew it. Like
yeah.
all the fans are asking him too. He had fans stopping him in the street to be like, hey, come to the Lakers.
A lot of it probably had to do with the fact that he was rehabbing his injured back that he got surgery on in April. A lot of it probably had to do for the fact that he was rehabbing right here in Los Angeles before he was with the Lakers.
4 months.
Yeah, but remember, he was in Los Angeles for all these months. He probably got a taste of the lifestyle. He might have liked it, huh?
Yeah, man. I
LA
love
is
it, man.
bad,
LA
dude.
is
You
awesome.
can't deny LA.
Yeah, I know. Hey, some people might not like us, but they know us.
Right now, it seems like we're doing a lot of slurping the Lakers, and it's no guarantee.
Just
It's-
talking the truth.
It's no guarantee that they can win the championship. Remember, these are the guys who got swept out of 2 straight, or not swept. They've only won 1 game in the second round the last 2 years.
But we didn't have this kind of talent.
Well,
Yeah.
the Lakers do have tremendous talent in the starting lineup, but the bench could be a question mark. It could be a
Yeah,
question
dude.
mark.
Well, we'll see.
Mike
the-
Brown
it's
better
still the
put some work
preseason.
in, man, or he's
It's
gonna
the
be
season hasn't started
fucking
yet,
on
and
the
even
road,
then,
man.
you only have to win so many games to get there. You don't always have to be the top of the scoreboard. If you could just get there at the end and take it all.
True.
A lot
True.
of teams have done that before. They just win enough games to get in there.
Yeah,
to the,
like the
finals.
Celtics.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Doc
defenders I'm
Rivers
talking
always
about.
gets them there.
Well, the Celtics,
Somehow,
they might have had the
some
best record in that year. I don't remember.
No, but there was times
In 2008, I don't remember if they had the best record or not. Well, okay, well there is, there are many experts who claim, Lakers they're the team to beat in the Western Conference. But what about the current Western Conference champion, Oklahoma City? Can they make it back to the finals? What would
Can they or the Lakers? Or
can Oklahoma City get back to the finals? Can they beat the Lakers in a 7-game series?
I want to say
They could, man, but because they are pretty tough, man. It's gonna be a tough game.
I'm gonna take it
for
from
sure.
the show rolling. I doubt it.
They're
I don't think
Huh?
they could take the Lakers in the full on.
I have,
7
you know what?
games.
I have to see the Lakers. I can't say it right
Yeah,
now. I have to
but,
see them play
know,
more because they haven't even been playing together.
That's true.
dude.
It's still the preseason. It's
Dwight
too early
Howard-
to make a lot of
Dwight
predictions.
Dwight
Howard
Howard
played-
missed a big chunk
He's
of
not even gonna play
of the
today.
Yeah, but
preseason.
we just gotta see how they go through
Yeah.
the season.
Yeah.
Like I said, you
One-
don't have to win all the games.
One thing is for sure that no team has an answer for the combination of Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. No team does.
Yeah, even Howard's still gonna have a hard time.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. The Lakers do not have the kind of perimeter players that Oklahoma City has.
Yeah, like
I
for
think
sure.
they can beat them, man.
They could. Oklahoma City, they lack size. Right now they have Kendrick Perkins, but to tell you the truth, Kendrick Perkins, he's on their books right now for I don't know what several $1 million he's getting paid, but right now is a contract season for OKC's third best player, James Harden.
James Harden. Dude,
So,
see if he's gonna even stay there.
You know, if they want to make sure that James Harden stays there, they might have to kick Kendrick Perkins to the curb, which means they might waive him. So what's going to happen if all of a sudden Oklahoma City doesn't have their starting center? How is that gonna favor against big team like the Lakers?
Well, Serge Ibaka. I mean,
yeah, Ibaka, he's still on the squad, and you got to remember who was the champion last year?
the Heat.
The Heat, and the Heat played most of their games without a true center. They had LeBron James starting at power forward, or not starting, but they had him playing at power forward down the stretch. So how would let's say the Lakers meet, the Heat? How would Pau Gasol match up against LeBron James? Is that what they would do, or will the Lakers be forced to choose between only playing Pau Gasol or Dwight Howard, the way they had to choose?
Play them at the same time.
Well, because then you're going to have one of those guys matching up against LeBron James.
Yeah, so?
Do you really want one of those guys to guard LeBron James right around the 3-point line?
Who?
Oh. I thought you meant because he would still be on the inside.
Well, that's true. You're going to have, if Pau Gasol goes up against LeBron James, obviously Pau Gasol is going to have, a slight height advantage in the low post. But, LeBron James is a big-ass guy. He weighs a lot more than Pau Gasol does.
What about Dwight Howard, though?
Well, yeah, Dwight Howard,
That's what I'm thinking. He'd guard him.
But Dwight Howard, he is nowhere near a perimeter player. This guy just want to hang around the paint and nowhere else. If you have to guard LeBron James plays everywhere.
On the 3
Yeah.
and down low.
So what are you going to do then?
That's the problem. LeBron James is such a talent that, what are you going to do? You put a big player in him, he's going to bust your ass, around the 3-point line. He's going to take you off the dribble. If you put a perimeter guy in him, he's going to kick your ass in the low post. And he couldn't do that before, remember?
Yeah, LeBron James, I hate him so much, but hey, maybe he'll come down to the Lakers in
in 2 years. That's a big rumor that started in the last couple of weeks. Talking about him coming over here.
Yeah.
Is it a lock? Is it a lock for the
what?
Miami Heat to make it to the NBA Finals again? Is there anyone in the Eastern Conference that can prevent this?
Eastern? Maybe the Brooklyn
Or the
Nets?
Western,
Maybe
right?
the Nets?
Right?
The Nets?
Jay-Z's team?
Yeah,
Maybe
well, I don't know
Jay-Z's
about
team?
that. They really don't have the inside presence, to tell you the truth. They did sign Joe Johnson, though. But I don't think Joe Johnson's really that much of a big-time player, to tell you the truth. So, what about the Boston Celtics? Do they have?
I feel like they'll get up there.
They're up there in age, that's for sure.
I agree with that, man.
They're up there in age, but somehow they still figure a way to, they ground and pound,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they play defense, and Doc Rivers is a tremendous coach.
Tremendous.
That guy knows what the fuck is up. That's for sure. He used to coach the Magic when they were still a rebuilding project, and they came up pretty good,
Yeah.
So, now he's got there's some talent in Boston, but there's a lot of age there, too.
Yes.
A lot of age. I don't know if they have enough in the tank to beat a team like.
But same to be said for the Lakers in a way,
Yeah, but the Lakers
I
have
think
a
the
lot
Lakers
more
have a better
talent.
chance,
They
yeah.
have Dwight Howard in his absolute prime right now.
Yeah,
I know.
That's true, huh?
I know that he's coming off off of a back injury, but this guy is still in his prime right now. He's got many more years in his prime still.
Yeah, well, it looks good for the Lakers this season. Let's
Well,
hope it all turns out and
It's probably
translates off of paper.
It's probably going to
Everyone
be.
keeps saying that.
It's probably going to be easy for the Heat to make it back to the finals. One thing for it's not going to be easy for the Lakers to make it to the NBA Finals. Just like it won't be easy for Oklahoma City to make it back to the NBA Finals.
OKC, man, that's going to be a tough game, man.
The Western Conference have a lot of good players. I mean, a lot of good teams. Well, they have a lot of good players, obviously, too. What about the Clippers?
Nah.
They're a pesky team. You got to give it that.
Yeah,
It sucks because I like Chris Paul.
Even the players, Pau Gasol even said they become a different team. They're a little more difficult to handle than they used to be. But I still don't think they can do it. And I thought you had told me some pretty good points earlier.
Well, Chris Paul is a great player.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Chris Paul's a great player. I mean, he showed it for Team USA this past summer. He was one of those guys. Chris Paul, he doesn't care so much about the scoring. job of a point guard is to get everyone involved, and they got a lot of guys. They got a very deep team, the Clippers. All these guys coming into their team. Was it Jamal Crawford, Lamar Odom,
Matt Barnes.
Is that the place where all the old Laker players go? Like the graveyard of Laker players?
The graveyard?
And they go to the Clippers, and then the Clippers get all good.
Well, Lamar
and they
Odom
come
came
back
from
and defeat
them.
the Lakers.
Yeah, that's true. Lamar Odom did start his career with the Clippers.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny that he ended
But
up back
I
there.
like how you said graveyard, because that's definitely where Lamar's career was this past season when he went to play for Dallas.
Should have never got with that chick, man. Should have never got with
Shit
her.
up.
Look at his career, man. Down the drain, dude.
I think this Kardashian curse that everyone's talking about, things seem to be going okay for Kanye West.
Yeah,
Let's
but
see. No, but they're both kind of
Kanye's
crazy.
curse
you know?
of being badass
The curse
is
of
like
being-
stronger than.
He's the curse of Kanye.
Yeah,
You know,
like-
that overwhelms everything.
That is true. That is true. But anyway, if not the Clippers, what else is another pesky team in the Western Conference?
Denver
a lot of
Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are pretty.
The Denver Nuggets,
They're
I think the Denver Nuggets are like the Clippers in that they have a lot of talent, but they don't have like the one superstar guy. Like, at least when you say the Clippers, who's going to have the ball in his hands at the end of a game? It's going to be Chris Paul,
Yeah.
right? Now, Chris Paul may not be the guy taking the shot because he's so good at getting everyone involved, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So, but does Denver have that one guy? Like, who's going to take who's the guy for Denver down the stretch?
Andre Iguodala.
But Iguodala, he's not one of those offensive threats. I mean, that's maybe a good thing or a bad thing for Denver, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like when they had Carmelo Anthony, you know, despite what you may think about Carmelo Anthony, he is an incredible offensive player, and he's definitely someone who you want to take the shot in crunch time.
Well, who said they're gonna come?
Well, Carmelo Anthony is, like, I think he's second to Kobe Bryant in the NBA as far as game winners go.
Really?
Yeah. Like, career game winners. Speaking of Carmelo Anthony, how are the Knicks going to do now? They don't have Jeremy Lin anymore.
They'll be all right, man.
They'll be all right, but I don't know, man. I just read this article on
How did
ESPN
that
the
guy,
other day.
like, ended up being like, was he good before suddenly last year?
I wonder
he
how
blew
he's
up?
gonna turn out now. Like, you know, wherever he's at. You know.
He plays for the Rockets
How
now.
did he suddenly, like, did no one know he was that good and he just suddenly became good?
I think he just got an opportunity. If you play professional sports, any type of professional sports, if you get an opportunity, you know, you get extended playing time or something, you can do very well. And in this case with Jeremy Lin,
No one
He did
accounted
very-
for him?
yeah, like he just did very well. You know, it happens in sports all the time. Maybe not the Linsanity that, you know, we got this past NBA season. But it happens-
Just because that one game he went all crazy on Kobe.
You know, that's
But he did that for a lot of games, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I heard that.
He did that for a lot of games.
Yeah.
You know what was smart, though? This guy might have been a flash in the pants. You know, he's only good for a couple months. You know, when he got injured, he probably could have made it back for those playoff games, but he sat out. You know why? Because people were just going to remember him as a good player, and that means he got his fat contract. I don't know. What did he get? Like $28, $30 million? Something like that?
He's thinking like a cheap agent.
Well, no, like he's just thinking of like a smart businessman.
It was even just to get him on the team because, like, I heard that the following from the Asian community was just so big. Like,
Yeah, well-
like overseas, like sales for
racism.
Lin. Nah, I'm just saying, just like it's
No,
just a
I'm
fact.
saying, not
Well, who played for...
I'm not saying you're being a racist.
But who played for the Houston Rockets before and who was like the biggest thing
Yao
there?
Ming?
Yao Ming, yeah.
Oh,
So he was big. Who would always start in the NBA All-Star game at center?
Yao Ming.
Yao Ming. It's because the majority, you know, the NBA offers the starting votes to fans. And of course they voted for Yao Ming. There's
Was
infinitely
he better
more
than
people.
Was he better than Shaq?
Oh, hell no.
I know, then why would
Hell
he
no.
be...
Well, because it's a popularity vote.
Oh.
There's no way. There's more people in China who play basketball than people who live in the United States.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, China, like 1 billion people live over there.
That's fucking insane.
So over here we have like, what, 300 million or something? So there's more people who play basketball in that country. In fact, China's so big that they're starting to not be sure what's a bigger sport there, soccer or basketball. That's how popular basketball is over there. Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. Aaron Brooks, he plays for the Sacramento Kings. He played all last season in China. He signed a contract before the lockout was over, so he played all last year. And They love basketball over there. Love it.
So he just came back on the Kings.
Aaron Brooks, yeah, he's a solid player. The Kings, though, I don't think they're not going to go anywhere in the.
Yeah, but damn, dude, they got some good pieces right there, and that could be deadly pieces to some other team in the future. You know,
They could, yeah, they could. I think it's the same
Tyreek
way.
Evans, fucking Cousins, and
Yeah,
that guy's gonna be
I think
a
that's the
center
same
in the league for a long time.
I think that's the same thing with the Phoenix Suns. Are also another team with a lot of very good players, but since they don't have that one to lead them, you know,
Nash?
they stole. Well, Steve Nash is with the Lakers now, but they
Yeah.
stole what's his name? The Rockets dumped.
Dragic or what's
No,
it?
well, I think they have Dragic, but they also have Luis Scola.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they waived Luis Scola, who's a great
So Phoenix got him, man.
great player, and Phoenix signed him for cheap, you know. So I mean, I don't think Phoenix is going to do that well, but they definitely have some ball players on there,
Yeah.
you know. But without let's face it, in the NBA, if you don't have a superstar, you're not going to win a championship. You look at all the teams that have played, you know, that have won championships.
Ever?
You know, yeah, and you can probably name some superstars. The only one that I can't name any superstars would probably be the 2004 Detroit Pistons. But if you look at any other team that won a championship, they have superstar players. You know, last year, did the Miami Heat have superstar players?
Yes.
Yes. The year before, would you say that the Dallas Mavericks had a superstar player? Yes. Dirk Nowitzki.
He's pretty good.
Obviously, yeah, he's really fucking good. The
What
Lakers
happened,
and their
man?
back-to-backs.
Did he get out of shape after they won?
No, he might have got hurt, but he's also
They
getting
had
older
said, like,
too.
When he came back, he just was like he won his championship, so he just kind of let it go.
Well, the Mavericks also didn't sign enough talent to get them over the top last year. They got
The
they got
Mavericks
Vince
sucked
Carter.
last
Couldn't
year,
even
dude.
defend their title.
They got Vince Carter, who's not
Good.
the dunking Vince Carter of Toronto Raptors of the past. They got Delonte West. They got Lamar Odom. That didn't get them very far right there. So the Mavericks, I think it's safe to say their championship run is probably over. You know who the Mavericks were seriously hoping to get? They were seriously hoping to get a combination of Dwight Howard and Darren Williams.
Yeah, I remember
And,
that one.
yeah, so it was an all or nothing for them. They got nothing, and they don't look like they're going anywhere. Jason Kidd doesn't play for them anymore either.
Yeah, he
Plays for the Knicks now. So Jason Kidd doesn't have much left in the tank either. He's not the Jason Kidd, you know, that got to the finals with the New Jersey Nets. Not the Jason Kidd who won a championship with the Mavericks.
He was lucky to win that one too, man. That was a luck championship.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
But
know
it's
about a
cool,
luck
you know?
championship. That Mavericks team, that 2011 Mavericks team. I mean, they had some talent, but I would definitely say that's one of the worst teams to ever win a championship. I mean, most people had them losing in the first round,
Yeah.
and somehow they won that. And then they swept the Lakers in the second round. No one saw that coming. No one, not a sweep, you know. And then they beat.
They played harder than us, dude.
Yeah, and then they beat, in the championship round, they beat the Heat. And that was the first year that the Heat were together. We saw what happened second year of the Heat. They won a championship.
Hey, man, I just don't like LeBron James, man. I just don't.
LeBron James is a very talented player.
I'll give him that, but I just don't like him.
He's a fucking baller.
Well, we'll see when he comes. Watch then if he comes here, I'm gonna be all over him.
Right, and that could be happening. You know,
Well-
who knows what happens with LeBron James in 2 years? You know, who knows?
He should
Who knows?
only win one game.
The
He's gonna
NBA
be
always
the
looks
purple
different.
and gold.
The NBA always looks different, you know. 2 years ago, thinking about what happened 2 years ago, the Heat were just barely getting together. You know, people had questions. Hey, can LeBron James do it? Is he a good enough player? Now, well, all those questions have been answered. You know, the guy won a championship. He was MVP. You know, he was the leader unquestionably on the Olympic team that won gold again. So, LeBron James, he's very much like Michael Jordan in the 1992 going
He's
into
not as good
1993
as him,
season.
huh?
Not yet. Not yet.
Think he has a lot. He could get better.
Absolutely, LeBron. One thing, Michael Jordan never had the body that LeBron James.
He was
Dude,
up then, huh?
This guy, yeah, LeBron James. This guy could probably play professional football if he wanted to, and probably be pretty good at it too.
Man, so that he'll never be as good as Jordan was.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well, I mean, like,
when you say
should he have won more championships by now? Though?
LeBron James,
Yeah.
Mike, they were the same age when they won their first championship.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's say, but what about the record of everything else, like the MVPs and all that?
Oh, LeBron James is way ahead right now. Way ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For MVPs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, at this age, Jordan, I don't think I'd won any MVPs yet.
Jordan started doing all this stuff in his close to 30, and then
Yeah.
into his 30s.
Yeah. You gotta credit
Like
Michael
LeBron's
Jordan. He
been
was
there for how old is LeBron too?
27 or something, I think.
That fool still has.
Yeah, he's still in his prime,
Uh,
definitely.
Whatever, man.
Whereas a player like
Fuck
Dwayne
LeBron
Wade,
James.
Dwayne Wade's not in his prime. He could still be in his prime, but he's on the downward part of his career. But it's okay because when you have a player like LeBron James to back you up, you'll be all right. So, any other team that you guys want to talk about?
Not really.
Okay.
I hate OKC.
I hate the Heat, man.
So
Dude, the West has such a was way harder than the East right now.
I think everyone
all the
agrees with
teams
that.
over here on the West are just. You have it easy on the East over there.
Yeah. Okay, so before we go, what is your prediction? You don't have to tell us the outcome, but who do you think is going to play in the NBA Finals this year?
Play?
Yeah, who's going to play in the NBA Finals?
The Lakers.
Against who?
Who's the cheapest team?
Miami Heat.
The cheapest team.
Yeah, probably the Miami Heat.
Yeah, okay.
So
What do you say, Rollamite?
That's what I think. I think it's going to be Miami Heat.
I think that as well. I think it would be an incredible shock if the Heat don't get back to the finals. The Lakers, I can envision the Lakers not making it to the championship. The only other team that would be there is Oklahoma City. And before
the Lakers making it win.
and before the Lakers before the Lakers acquired Steve Nash through the trade, and before Steve Nash their free agency and acquired Dwight Howard in the trade, I would have definitely said for sure the Heat and Thunder are going to play each other again in the finals. But now that the Lakers have done that, I would give them a slight edge, to tell you the truth, because Dwight Howard is just so much better. People don't realize how good defensively he really is.
You saw, huh?
Well, we've seen one game with him so far, but
Well, you said you were impressed.
oh, I was incredibly impressed. I said in the first half that Dwight Howard showed me more in one half than Andrew Bynum did his entire career with the Lakers.
Damn, he was throwing them down, pulling them down, and you could tell even though he was like a step late here, he was rusty. Man, 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks. That's.
The guy wasn't 100% either.
How many games did Bynum that was hard for Bynum to get, huh?
Bynum-
19-point
You'd have to
games,
work for that.
Bynum would pout a lot. He would seem disinterested in playing defense, rebounding, staying with his man. So, he's going to get the touches now that he's playing with Philadelphia. But I think with a center of Dwight Howard's,
Caliber.
some of his caliber playing for the Lakers, it's going to be a very different team that the Thunder were able to feast on last year in the second round.
Damn,
Hell yeah, dude.
Them alive.
They just torched us, dude. They knew what the weakness was, and they just...
What was the weakness?
Lakers
The
didn't have very good
slowness,
perimeter. Yeah, they didn't have good perimeter play.
And then Bynum couldn't get back to stop,
See, do I have...
no one could stop Westbrook. I mean,
No one's going to stop
one's
Westbrook.
gonna
If
stop
the Lakers
him,
are not going to stop Westbrook,
but
they're not
at
gonna
least
stop Durant.
they can't send massive double teams like
You
they
gotta
were
believe,
or
man.
not even they weren't even sending double teams. They
Yeah, I mean, the big difference this year is that, Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum, they are a lethal combination down low, but, they're nowhere near as good defensively as Dwight Howard. And what you're going to see now is that when Durant and Westbrook attack the rim, it's not going to be a free layup or dunk anymore. A couple times, Dwight Howard's probably going to be there to block their shit.
Awesome.
That's gonna be badass to see this.
It will be a great series seeing those two play. I mean, I definitely think we'll see those two in the Western Conference Finals, unless they're the second and third seed, in which case they would play each other in the second round. So, but I don't know. We'll see. I definitely think Oklahoma City's a lock to win first place in the regular season.
Oh,
just because the Lakers are a veteran team.
They're gonna freaking.
They'll have home court.
Easy.
Yeah,
dude.
they'll have home court advantage definitely in
If
the
I don't
Western
see
Conference.
OKC right there, it's gonna be sad, you know.
Yeah, I don't know about sad. They're a team. They're a talented team. I don't think it's going to be sad if anyone does poorly. I would think that the Clippers could have a chance to steal that. Maybe the Spurs are always good. Somehow are the fucking Spurs always good? I mean,
Popovich,
how old
man.
is Tim Duncan?
Pop, man?
Pop does know what he's doing. That's
Pop
for
is
sure.
like now he's the best coach in the NBA.
I would say that.
And then George Karl behind him.
I would say Doc Rivers is probably in that category
and
too.
then
If you had to tell me who are the best coaches, who could coach Team USA, well, I would definitely say Greg Popovich. Oh, Phil Jackson's getting too old for that. He could do it. He's got the credentials for it. But if you were to say who could be like a Team USA coach,
if he was coaching the Lakers right now, what do you think about that?
Oh, they'd have to be an overwhelming favorite, to tell you the truth. If Phil Jackson was coaching this Laker team, they would have to be a favorite.
Could they call him back?
No.
What if, man, they offered him enough money?
They're entrusting what's his name right now?
Mike Brown.
They're
entrusting. That would make the clinch it. This team would be like legendary because Phil Jackson's coaching this team.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will definitely say if Phil Jackson was coaching this team, they'd be the favorite, even ahead of Miami. There are some deficiencies that Mike Brown needs to get past, and so far he hasn't proved that he can do that.
What do you think it is that
divisions?
why can't he? How come, like, right now it seems like he doesn't have his team under control.
Well, he doesn't have the credentials. He doesn't have enough coaching credentials to
like to boss Kobe around.
Lead,
or what?
yeah, to lead a team like the Lakers. Well, I mean, look who bossed Kobe around. Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson had already won 3 championships with the 6 championships with the Bulls.
Well, of course.
And then he had also played in the NBA. Mike Brown didn't play in the NBA. Phil Jackson did play in the NBA. He was part of a championship team when he played with the Knicks.
Well, that's true. He does.
Mike Brown doesn't have any of these credentials.
Didn't he play? I thought he played somewhere. Oh,
I
that
think
was
he played
like
college ball.
He
Played college ball. So, the NBA is a different animal. So, I mean, the Lakers, I definitely got to say, the championship is going to be either in 2012, 2013 championship, either going to go to the Lakers, the Heat, or the Thunder. I think it's pretty safe to say that's what's going to happen this season.
I'm going to agree with that, but I'm just hoping only for the Lakers. But I'm pretty sure
it's going to be one of those 3 teams.
That's going to be the lineup, one of those 3.
Yeah, one of those 3 we're going to do it. Okay, well, what do you say about that one, Rolomite?
I don't know, man.
Well, is there another team that you think can sneak up in there and win the championship? No.
It has to be the Lakers.
Oh, sneak in there?
Sneak in there and win the championship. Other than one of those 3, the Celtics.
To sneak in there, to sneak in. I'm not saying they're gonna, but to sneak in. I'm gonna throw it out there like.
I could see that happening. They're a vicious defensive team, So
how about fucking Indiana? Are they
the Pacers? No, they're just.
Don't they got that big guy Hibbert and?
Yeah, Hibbert's okay. They're a first or second round loss for sure. Indiana doesn't have. They can't sneak in. Some people might want to say the Spurs. I wouldn't buy the Spurs. Not against the Lakers or Oklahoma City.
Pop's gonna get him in there.
Popovich will get him into the second round, but I honestly can't see the Spurs. They're another year older. People always talk about all the championships that they've won. They haven't won a championship since 2007.
Mike Brown's gonna just try to ride the superstar power of that shit. Just
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Western Conference.
I wonder how our team would be with Phil Jackson. How would it be? We'd be running,
You never know. You never know. And maybe in an alternate universe we could know, but
man, multiverse.
Not this. I love the multiverse. You can ask any of my friends.
I was reading a comment online that said, "How many times has the DC universe multiverse been destroyed?"
Oh, too many times to know.
Exactly.
Well, so we're all in agreement, where the championship team is going to go. Right now, we just have to sit back and enjoy it. So, it's late October, early November right now, and we're going to be watching this thing all the way till the middle of June. So we'll see how this season plays out. So I think we'll be back some other time in Daily Girth, another Girthcast. We'll probably talk about basketball some other time in the future. So be on the lookout for that. All right. Any closing remarks, Jeff Dealer?
That was a long one.
That was a good preview for the NBA season.
Yeah.
There it is.
Rolomite, anything you got to say?
Watch basketball.
Lakers.
Okay.
Time Warner Cable, you rule.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to a season that's not lockout interrupted. This is starting normal. We're going to see a normal schedule now, so I'm pumped. I'm always excited for an NBA season, no matter who's the favorite.
I'm pumped.
So, anyway, I'm Mike Cervantes. Look for us in the future. We'll be talking about basketball again, and talk to you guys later. Bye.